The driveway was usually a barren stretch of cracked pavement, a silent witness to our neglect, perhaps mirroring the growing void in our marriage. Tonight, however, it was a chaotic mess of vehicles. Not just any vehicles, but his vehicles. 3 of them, gleaming under the harsh yellow glow of the streetlights. A vibrant red Porsche, a sleek matte black Range Rover, and a polished silver Tesla. My blood turned to ice. I recognized those cars. I had seen them parked outside the exclusive restaurant where I had meticulously tracked her movements for the past 3 months. The same restaurant where she claimed to be attending a conference. My wife, Elena, stood at the end of the driveway, exuding an air of effortless grace. A designer handbag hung from her shoulder, her perfectly styled blonde hair catching the light. The silk scarf around her neck, a gift from me for our anniversary, felt like a cruel joke, mocking the betrayal churning in my gut. She remained oblivious, blissfully, terrifyingly unaware of the storm brewing within me. The slam of my car door shattered the stillness. Elena's smile wavered the moment she saw me, her carefully composed mask slipping to reveal a flicker of something. Fear? No, mostly guilt. Shallow, insincere guilt that never quite reached her eyes. "David," she exhaled, her voice laced with practiced sweetness that grated on my nerves. "You're back early." "Early?" I echoed, my voice low and controlled, a dangerous calm settling over me. "Early? I tracked your so-called conference. Elena, I followed you to that restaurant. I watched you." Her smile vanished, replaced by a forced composure. "David, there's a perfectly reasonable explanation." I cut her off, my voice rising. "A reasonable explanation? For 3 luxury cars, all belonging to the same man, parked in my driveway? Is that what you're about to offer me?" This time, the fear in her eyes was unmistakable. The polished exterior of her sophistication began to fracture. She opened her mouth, but I stepped closer, my voice dropping to a venomous whisper. Don't even try. I saw you. I saw him. I saw the way he looked at you, the way you laughed, the way you touched him, and you thought you could just waltz back in here, pretending like nothing happened? After spending God knows how long with that man, the anger simmering inside me for months, years, even, finally erupted. It wasn't just the infidelity. It was a deception, the disrespect, the slow erosion of the love I had once believed in with all my heart. He's a client, she stammered, her voice barely above a whisper. A very important client. It was just business. I laughed, a harsh, bitter sound that echoed in the night. Business? That's what you call it now? Business meetings at high-end restaurants? Business involving secret rendezvous, passionate kisses, and whispered confessions. My words were sharp, meant to wound. She reached out to touch me, but I recoiled. Don't. I said, my voice thick with emotion. Don't you dare touch me. Turning away from her, I strode toward the house, ignoring her frantic pleas. Inside, I moved with a calculated determination. I grabbed my phone and began making calls. The first was to my lawyer. I laid out my plans, divorce, property division, custody arrangements for our dog, Buster. It was swift, efficient, and businesslike, a stark contrast to the emotional turmoil raging inside me. Then I called my accountant. Then a moving company. Elena's sobbing became nothing more than background noise to the careful dismantling of our life together. This wasn't about revenge. It was about reclaiming my dignity, my sanity, my future. It was about severing the toxic bonds that had been suffocating me. The following day was brutal. I filed for divorce. I froze her assets. Over the past 3 months, I had documented everything. The extravagant lunches, the designer clothes, the lavish gifts from her so-called client. My lawyer was pleased. The evidence was overwhelming. Elena's world began to collapse. The man, his name, I discovered, was Marco, was stunned by the speed of my actions. He had believed her lies, her reassurances that she was separated. Now, faced with a looming legal battle and the exposure of her deceit, he distanced himself. The luxury cars, once symbols of her supposed success, became bitter reminders of her betrayal. The whisper started, the side glances, the judgment. Her carefully crafted image of the perfect wife, the accomplished businesswoman, shattered like fragile glass. I watched it all unfold from a distance, a quiet sense of satisfaction settling over me. It wasn't about vengeance. It was self-preservation. I had been deceived, humiliated, broken, but I had found the strength to rebuild, to move forward. The anger still smoldered, a dull ember beneath the surface, but it was now tempered by a sense of peace, a quiet resolve. 6 months later, the divorce was finalized. Elena walked away with far less than she had expected, a harsh consequence of her deceit. She was alone, stripped of luxury, status, and the man she thought would be her golden ticket. She had played a dangerous game, and she had lost. As for me, I found peace. The house felt empty, yes, but not in a painful way. It was a clean slate, a fresh start, free from the poison of betrayal. Buster stayed with me, his unwavering love and loyalty a balm to my wounded soul. One quiet evening, months after the dust had settled, I sat on the porch, a glass of wine in hand. The driveway was empty, the silence profound. But this time, it wasn't haunted by ghosts of a broken marriage. It was a peaceful silence, a testament to the new chapter ahead. I had learned a painful lesson about trust and betrayal. But in the wreckage, I had discovered a resilience I never knew I possessed. My heart still ached, yes, but it also beat with renewed purpose. The world had crumbled around Elena, but for me, a new dawn had finally risen.